Hi everyone, welcome to Manhwa Demon. Please don't forget to subscribe, enjoy the video.
This is just first chapter of the story. I will upload full story if I got 5 comments for part 2. The scene unfolded with a view of a girl and man sitting on bed. The man started to open her shirt's buttons. After opening all her buttons he said, "All done." Meanwhile the girl in her thoughts said, "How did I allow myself to grow south close with this man?" She telling her past said, "The husband I was forced to marry to protect my kingdom, the slave who seized the crown of the emperor and waged war across the world. The same man who would kill my family and destroy my home. However, a second chance is now given to us. Once everything is taken care of, I would like to share my secrets with him." She kissing the man said, "Would that this moment could last forever?" While kissing each other the man asked Canach Riadon. He said, "Whenever I look into your eyes, what we shared that day springs back to life. Tell me, has our promise truly faded from your memory?" Meanwhile she touching a flower said, "Oh, I know this flower." She said, "You can find it in the north as well?" The man asked, "Really?" She replied, "Yes. You'll see once we're in RKA. We'll spend the day reading in the gardens, fasting on sweets. Would you like that?" The boy replied, "Yes, princess." Suddenly we get to know that it was all her imagination and she said, "That would make me very happy." In the next scene we saw RKA, home to the arcane arts. Once, it was a mighty nation of arcanists whose progenies lived and breathed magic. But when mankind was stripped of this blessing, RKA lost its glory and diminished into a weak shadow of its former self. Left at the mercy of greater powers, the nation pinned its hopes on its only means of survival, a marriage alliance. Meanwhile a golden-haired boy appears. He opens the door and shouts, "Tell me it's not true." He was Xander Catterall, second prince of RKA. He said, "It's not too late to reconsider, sister." Meanwhile, Dietrich Catterall, first prince of RKA, interrupts him and asks her to keep his voice down, while a lady was sitting on the chair. He said, "This is hardly a subject for outsiders." The second prince replied, "No, preposterous is what this is. You would force your own sister into becoming the wife of Canach Riadon?" She clenched her cloths. He continued, Have you any idea what sort of things are whispered behind our backs out there? They say RKA has purchased a coward's peace by whoring out her princess to the empire. A royal plaything for the bloodthirsty tyrant who slaughters dozens of lives a day for sport." He shouts, "Why, brother, why?" The lady named Eusebia Catterall, first princess of RKA, said, "Xander, that's quite enough." The second prince said, "Bia," with a sadness on his face. She replied, "It was I, not Dietrich, who wanted this marriage." She said, "I acted of my own accord, and I'd rather we moved on." The second prince wants to say something but she interrupts him and said, "I'll be fine." He started crying and said to her, "I don't understand." She replied, "From now on, it is your duty to look after our father. Try to be a good boy and listen to Dietrich." He holds her tightly and started crying. She said to him, "But most importantly, take good care of yourself." The first prince standing there see them and said to her, "Thank you, Eusebia." He said to her, "The people of RKA owe their lives to you." She in her thoughts said, "I have always known that a marriage of love is a luxury for any woman born into royalty." In the next scene we saw their marriage. Someone said, "This union is Arcea's sole salvation in the face of Riadon's growing threat." She said to herself, "I need not mourn my fate. I should feel honored to give myself to such a cause." She was dressed as a bride in a white dress. The father said, "Eusebia Catterall, do you take this man, Canach Riadon, to be your lawfully wedded husband?" She said, "I do." Meanwhile seeing him she said in her thoughts, "So this is the emperor of Riadon." The father said, "Then in the name of the goddess Vihar, gatekeeper of the beginning and the end, I hereby pronounce you man and wife. Let the kiss of vows seal your bond as one." He removes cloth from her face and asked her to close her eyes in a cold tone. And then they kissed each other.